Hi everyone, this is Dave and Pat from Wake Up for Your Health, coming to you from the Muskokas in Ontario, Canada, where we're enjoying a heat wave, which we haven't had a heat wave like this in a long time. This has been a week and a half now, and it looks like another week or so. So we're doing what we can to deal with the heat. I did play 18 holes of golf yesterday and drank 3 bottles of water just to keep hydrated. But it was great, good physical activity. Walked about 12,000 steps. Pardon me, not 12,000, 1,200 steps yesterday, which was, no, it was 12,000. Yeah, right, it was 12,000 steps yesterday. So that was good. I got a lot of good exercise and great camaraderie with our fellow golfers that we golf with each year, and that was a really good, uplifting time.
It's so important that we look after our health, and Dave is very good at drinking his water, but I'm finding on the golf course I don't drink my water the way I'm supposed to, because then I have to go to the bathroom, and my pelvic floor isn't as strong as it used to be, and I'm getting that looked after right now by a great physiotherapist here in Ontario, in Huntsville. And Carolyn Van Dyken, if you need a physiotherapist, is absolutely awesome. So I would highly recommend her to you. And I just wanted to tell people that, the situation that's going on now, there are a lot of things I don't believe, and a lot of reasons why I don't believe. And one of them is testing that gets done that sometimes isn't always the right results. And I had that happen to me years ago. I was walking with our little 1-year-old, or less than 1-year-old granddaughter, and holding her little hands, or she was holding my fingers actually, the way you do it. And we got onto a downslope, and so she started running, and so I was on a downslope starting to run with her, and I knew I was going to fall. So I just coddled her, and we fell together, and she was fine. But what happened was my thumb got injured on the way down, and everybody thought I should get it checked out. So I got it checked out, and many doctors checked it out. And there was only one that didn't think it was broken. I didn't think it was broken, but all the other doctors did. So I had multiple casts on this thumb that it's still not quite right, and therapy. And so I just recall that as one of the incidences why I don't really like tests and believe in a lot of tests. And the other thing was 2 years ago, it'll be in January, I thought I had the flu, because most of my friends had the flu, and they went to get checked at the clinic and were given an antibiotic. They came home, took their medicine, and they were fine after a while. So I thought, after trying to fight it, that I better go too, because I was pretty sick. And we went to the clinic, and there was a 2-hour waiting list. So Dave called the hospital, and there was only a 12-minute waiting list. So we went over to the hospital, and my breathing was pretty bad. But I said to the girl that was taking the paperwork, I thought I had the flu, so immediately she gave me a mask. And rightfully so, to protect herself from my germs, which I had lots of at that time. And then she took me into the room where the doctor and the nurses were, and they checked out my oxygen level. And my oxygen level had dropped down to what they said was 37. And, I didn't know how good or bad that was, but the nurse kept telling me how sick I was and that I was critical, and I kept saying, no, I'm fine, like I'm used to this, because I'd been labeled with asthma as a younger person. And if Dave hadn't been there, I would have thought I was crazy, because most people in the medical profession tell me that you can't be walking into the hospital with 37 at an oxygen level. So I started to think, how did it get to 37? But then I realized, my goodness, when I told the gal that I thought I had the flu, she put a mask on me immediately. And then I sat for a bit answering the questions. So when you have a mask over your face like that, your oxygen level does go down. And so I can see that that could have happened, and I'm not sure what it was before that, but they did bring it up quite quickly. I think within 15 minutes my oxygen level was over 90, which is supposed to be over 90, between 90 and 100. I think they don't worry about it. So that concerned me, and yet they wouldn't let me go home. And they did keep me for almost a week, which I'm grateful for in many ways, because they put me through every test in the book for asthma, which I've been labeled with before, and COPD, which I've never had before, but they put me through all those tests, and the heart tests that they put me through were interesting also, but the symptoms are so similar that it makes sense to do that, I suppose. Anyway, I was labeled with COPD at the hospital there in Florida. And when we came home, the new doctor that I got here wanted all these tests to be redone. So we had all the tests redone, and she said there was no way that I had COPD. And I was feeling better. I did get puffers, and I'm very grateful for everything that the hospital did for me, because I came out of the hospital feeling very, very good. And when I got back home here, to redo them was a bit of a pain in the butt. But we got it all done, and I'm feeling great now. I can breathe. I'm being looked after, and I've stopped having dairy products, which is a cause of mucus in a lot of people. So if you have a challenge like that, sometimes stopping dairy products can help with your breathing. The other thing I do every morning is I take a lemon, honey, and a hot water drink, and that too cuts mucus. So that's helped me a lot, and health is important. What else do you do, honey, for your health?
Well, I try to eat plant-based meals most of the time, and Pat is really great at making them. And I've learned a lot through her to watch what I eat, and I've taken my weight down quite a bit, and that has a big help for me.
Yes, and you look terrific. David's never been this slim. He always was like the football build with the muscles and chunky, sort of, and strong. And he's still strong, but he's slim and looks terrific. I just thought of another thing that happened to me. Was I was going to have this test for feces to see if everything was okay in that end of my body. And when I read the information that we were given, it said that if you shouldn't have acid in your system. So you weren't supposed to have anything acidic for a period of time, which the doctor had never told us that. So when I read that, I thought, here's another test that if I'd have gone ahead and just done it without reading all this information, the test would have come out that I had a problem there, and then it would have led to another test. So I realized that you really have to be your own advocate, or somebody else that'll do the research for you, and make sure that you look after yourself, because these people are so busy, and sometimes they've done the same thing so many times over that they think we know what they know, and we definitely do not know what the doctors know, and sometimes they don't know things that we know, and perhaps they forget to ask us. So I think it's really important to look after yourself and have self-care and try to prevent the problems, and that's what we're doing. We're walking every day or golfing, and we're eating plant-based like Dave said, and trying to look after ourselves. And we recommend that everyone try to look after yourself And if you need to have something done, I would say get a second opinion because everyone thinks differently. A friend was over the other night and he had such a scare because the doctor that he was going to thought that he had prostate cancer, sent him to a specialist, and he was sure that the specialist was going to remove it. Then he decided he'd go to a naturopath. So he went to a naturopathic doctor and he told him what to do, what to eat, and how to change his diet. And after a period of time, he went back to the naturopath and all of the tests were great. The numbers were fine and he's never had to have the surgery. So eating is really, really important for our insides. Don't worry about what you eat to look good. Worry about what you eat to be healthy. And being healthy on the inside is very, very important and can prevent a lot of problems, a lot of drugs, and a lot of surgeries. So think about yourself and what you can do and what we can do for our own bodies. And that's what we're doing. We're promoting self-care, as are some doctors too. They really are trying to teach us how to look after ourselves. And I think it's a wonderful thing in this day and age now, because right now the doctors, some of them won't even see patients because they're concerned about everyone's health. And they do it then on the phone or on the computer. And again, it's not the same as hands-on. So look after yourselves, everyone. And we're going to try to do the same thing. And we're going to be happy and healthy, we hope. And we're working on that. So all the best to you and your families and having good health.
Yes, take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening.
Bye now.
It's Dave and Pat from Wake Up for Your Health. Bye for now.